This is a post that originated over there on Reddit, the subreddit True Off My Chest, and it started making the rounds a couple days ago on Twitter. And it's this woman who says, I think I destroyed our relationship trying to compliment my boyfriend. And she goes on to say, my boyfriend and I are both 28 years old, and we've been together for 2.5 years. Yesterday night, we were drinking, and one thing led to another, and I tried to compliment him by saying he is not someone who I would hook up or be a friends with benefits with, but marry. Nice. Nice. I thought everything was fine, but he seemed extremely distraught after that. Yeah, I wonder why. I realized how he understood it and tried to clarify it, but he is still the same this morning. He told me he needs space to think for a while, and he left the house. All my friends tell me I messed it up, and guys tell me it's not a compliment, and most men would understand it differently. I think I destroyed our relationship, and I am panicking right now. Wow, what a rough day for this guy. So on one hand, he finds out that his girlfriend is a woman who has engaged in hookup culture. Great. And is not a woman who's been always relationship focused. So a lot of these, a big problem with some of these chicks out here is that they are willing to allow a man to penetrate their body, their mind, and their soul and allowing a man to do that while also allowing him to disappear after. So that's pretty disgusting. It's pretty gross behavior on a woman's part to do something like that. It's a weird thing for a woman to do. Most women, you would hope at least, most quality women, they would not allow this. They would only allow a man to penetrate them as so long as they would also want the commitment from this guy. It's a really weird thing that is taking place nowadays where women are creating friends with benefits situations. They're engaging in hookup culture. They're sleeping with men, perhaps the first night they meet them, and then just that's it. They don't pursue commitment with this guy, none of that. So on one hand, this guy realizes that is what he is committed to, basically, a community hole. A community hole. And then she also told him he wouldn't have been able to partake in the penetration of the community hole. Yikes. So on one hand, he committed to the community hole, but then when she was in her phase of being the community hole, he wouldn't even been able to participate. That's fucked up. That's fucked. Wow. And you wouldn't believe, well, I'm sure you would believe, the amount of women jumping through hoops, trying to gaslight everybody and say, no, this is actually a compliment. It's not. It's not a compliment. It might be a compliment to you, woman, because you prioritize commitment. You want commitment. Well, you would hope so, right? You want commitment. Men want sex. So when a man finds out his girlfriend was handing out sex without wanting to get commitment, that's pretty weird. And it revolts a man, turns him off, repulses him. You're not behaving like a wife, so why should I make you a wife? You're not behaving like a girlfriend, an LTR, a long-term relationship material. You're not behaving like her, so why would I promote you to that position? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I see a lot of people trying to come up with like functional equivalents to a woman. And you just flip it. You tell a woman, if you wanted to piss off a woman or upset a woman like this, you just tell her, hey, you're not commitment material. You're just one night stand material. It's really that simple. So, no, this is absolutely awful. And it's awful for two reasons, right? Like I said, found out she's a 304, and he also found out he wouldn't have been able to participate when she was a 304. That's really what that means, right? When it comes to women, and here's the thing that I often hear from men, and I disagree a lot. I disagree massively when I hear some guys say that a woman's looks are less important for a long-term relationship or a marriage. I disagree massively. Well, I actually think looks are less important. If there is a man and he's out here participating in one-night stands and he's able to do this, looks matter less for that. Looks matter less for one-night stands. Whereas with women, actually, I think looks matter a little bit more with a one-night stand. Maybe not necessarily looks, but more of a alpha demeanor. Because looks definitely matter more to men in general than they do with women. But when it comes to a woman wanting to hook up with a man, they're not going to want to hook up with a man who shows sort of, for lack of a better word, beta characteristics. They will be willing to hook up one night stand with a man who's more, has the more alpha characteristics. But what I was saying, the reason why I think looks matter the most in long-term relationships and marriages for men is because you want her to be as attractive as you can do, because eventually you might grow tired of sleeping with her. Chances are you will. There's a saying, find me a hot woman, I'll find you a man who's tired of sleeping with her. And that's just because men over time, they eventually get tired of sleeping with the same woman. So that's why looks matter the most in a long-term relationship. Because the hotter she is, the more time it will take for you to get tired of sleeping with her. And the less attractive she is, the sooner you'll get tired of sleeping with her. And I don't know about you, but I'm a red-blooded male. Sex is important to me. And it's massively important. So I still have that expectation of wanting to do that with my girlfriend, my long-term mate. So, I completely disagree. And I guess perhaps as men get older, they say stuff like that. But, so people are looking for a functional equivalent with this with women. If you want to offend a guy, tell him you are not one-night stand material, but you're marriage material. You want to offend a woman, tell her she is not marriage material. She is one-night stand material. The two are opposite. You got to flip it. Because women know they can get sex easily. That's not a problem. Oh my God, it's so easy for them. They could go out on the street and say, hey, approach a guy. Do you want to have sex? The guy would be he would think, hold on, what's the catch here? This is too great. I want this, but something's up here. So men want sex, women generally want commitment. Even if they were a hoe at one point, eventually they're going to want commitment from a guy, i.e., she hooked up, she engaged in hookup culture, she participated, and now she wants commitment from the guy who wouldn't have even been able to penetrate her or participate in her 304 phase. Wonderful. Wonderful. Careful out there, gentlemen. A lot of this going on. All right. If you enjoyed that, hey, go ahead and leave a subscription for me. I'd appreciate it. And if you can, leave a like as well. And check out some of my other videos. And I'll see you next time.